again back to Yangpoo and Soch ki Tea Talk Train of Thought with a series of an episode with Dr. Samir Karkhanis, CEO of Yangpoo Executive Education. It's an interesting insights and an interesting story to what we have gone through. And with his experience both in the corporate and as an entrepreneur, sir, now in fact, what is an advice which you can give to startups? Many a time it so happen startups they are struggling to find a gap. तो आप उनके लिए क्या एडवाइस दे सकते हो?
Very relevant question for two reasons. One, this is the time to become an entrepreneur and start a startup. But at the same time, what one has to look is, do you have it in you to become an entrepreneur? So it is very contradicting. There is an opportunity available, but startups initially are the personality of the founder. So do you have those skills to become an entrepreneur? Or maybe you may be good at working with somebody else in some other startup or working in a corporate. Startups are also different from normal conventional traditional businesses. So startup require a different mindset to grow, to scale up, to capitalize on the opportunity, maybe raise good funds and create a very strong impact. So startups are about impact and scale. It is not a traditional trading business. So one has to identify that whenever somebody thinks about becoming a startup founder, and not to confuse it with normal business of trading or manufacturing. So that's not a startup. So that's my first advice. Second, capitalize. First, identify your strengths. What is your strength? Your strength could be marketing. Your strength could be coding. Your strength could be global alliances. Your strength could be creating and structuring financial models. So you have to decide your strength is in marketing, finance, managing people, managing operations, public relation. What is your skill? So second, you will identify skills. Skills can be identified with previous experience. If you have worked somewhere, or maybe you had your own business and you are branching out new, or you have worked in corporate. And if you are a young student, and most startups are below people of 20 to 23 years of age today. So there it's about passion and an understanding of the market. So first, identify your skills. Find out the need gaps in the market. What is that demand you are going to fulfill? It has to be big enough, okay? Because otherwise you will remain small and you will shrink and you are finished. So the market, addressable market, or what we call a TAM, startup, there's a word TAM, total addressable market. You will have to do some work on how big is the opportunity. Who are the other players in that opportunity? Is it overcrowded or is it completely empty because you are just trying to fulfill your fantasy and there is no customer in that market? So it is both ways. So startups is a journey of juggling multiple balls together. Correct? So you will have to first identify skill, identify the need gap in the market, and then also try to look at a co-founder. Don't do the startup journeys alone. I could do it alone, but now I feel the need ki if I had a co-founder with me who had complementing skills, I would have scaled up more faster in Yangpoo. Okay. So identify a co-founder also. That is my strong advice to youngsters. And a co-founder could be a batchmate during your engineering or your graduation or your MBA days. He could be some of your cousin or maybe through some networking group. Or there are now so many startup groups on social media. Put out a message to people that you are looking for a co-founder who would like to build a big dream together. So do that kind of thing. Finding a co-founder is important. And the fourth initial stage advice I will give you is to try to create a 3 or 4 people, good, strong team of people. Because you will not be able to drive startups. It's very difficult a journey. It's a frustrating journey. You need 3 or 4 strong people with you who will then probably work with you on your idea. And a startup, quickly in 2 seconds, I will tell you what is the entire startup process. It is about ideation. It is about putting together a plan. It is about rapid prototyping. Create some small version, low fidelity version, high fidelity version of the product or the service you are creating. Go to the market and test. So that testing phase is very important. You need early signals on how things are working, whether there is acceptability. Ask the customer, is this what is serving his purpose? What are the changes to be done? Change that very quickly. again go to the same customer and little more newer customers, and then once you are getting satisfied, then create a great business plan, 3 to 5 years projection, invest in a very good business plan and projection. There are experts available to you. You may be very good, but then there are better people who understand the investor's mindset. Probably you may first bootstrap by putting your own money, your own savings, your family and friends, angel rounds, and then gradually you can create a plan to go to bigger investors and try to be profitable. Okay, because it's no point that you have big dreams and you don't have money to support that. Ultimately, investors will look at two things. One, the opportunity to scale up, to address some problems which are at scale. Correct? So they want to have 10x multiplier on the money they put in your businesses. So look at bigger markets and a scale up plan. And also now investors are looking at, are you profitable or these are just numbers and you're burning money. So look at profitability as a matrix, and this is going to be a little different advice because people say kuch nahi, investor ka hai, kar do, and then we will see. No. Now matured investors look at profitability, and there is where Yangpoo was fortunate to have so many investors because we were profitable from the beginning. We didn't have the scale, but now the expertise and the money the investors have given us will give us the scale. But we will have a profitable scale up. Okay, so that is the idea. So you have to break even early, have operating profit margins early, and that is the way you should build a startup, is my advice, sir.
Okay, many a time, like in most of the prominent B schools, like they encourage the entrepreneurship drive which is there. And in that entrepreneurship drive, many of the institutes are having the incubation cell as such. Yes. So how the students should bring those ideas out from that B school and take it to the next level?
Sure. See, I'm not really too convinced with this entire concept of incubation centers inside business schools. Because that is more of an academic exercise than an entrepreneurship journey. If you want to really become an entrepreneur, please go to an incubation center which is outside the business school. Because see, you are taking a lot of efforts to get into a business school, into a preferred premium business school. You go through your CAT CET exams and the group discussion interviews. You have an opportunity cost because you left a job. If you had work experience, you are paying exorbitant fees to get into a premium business school. And after that, you always will think, mujhe entrepreneur banna hai, but the reality is that your dreams of entrepreneur remain dreams till the time there is somebody who offers you a salary check and a job. Okay, so most of the guys start with that idea of being an entrepreneur, but they land up with corporate placements, because they see their friends and batchmates getting 20 lakh, 50 lakh, 75 lakh jobs. Then say, entrepreneurship I will do after a few years of experience. So if you are really serious and you are willing to give up that big paycheck which your big institution or your business school would give you in the campus placement, then only you spend time on that entrepreneurship incubation center. Okay, otherwise please focus on making your fundamentals strong, getting internships and apprenticeship experience in corporates. Get the best job out of a business school. Don't try to mix match and confuse yourself that मैं entrepreneur भी बनूंगा और लेकिन नौकरी मिल गई तो नौकरी ले लेते हैं कैंपस से. Don't get into that is my personal advice, sir.
Correct. I think exclusively on T-Talk एक Boond Soch Dr. Samir Karkhanis, CEO of Yangpoo Executive Education, have given a valuable advice for a startup that how they should go as for the startup drive which are concerned and what are the challenges which are in process, and also a piece of advice for an MBA grads who are part of the business process which are there, what they need to do in their career life. So thank you very much for your valuable advice for T-Talk audience. I'm sure this, your entire journey, your entire story is really going to boost the morale of a T-Talk audience, and that's what this platform is all about, to give it back to our society in a meaningful way. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you, sir.
T-Talk platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.